First, you want to make sure your vehicle is off in park and your parking brake is on. So we're going to take this shifter and pull it back to 4H. Now this is pretty difficult to get off, but all you do is take two hands, wiggle back and forth, and pull upwards. What we have to do next is shift the vehicle into reverse. The ideal way to do that is to take a flathead screwdriver, pop up this little piece that's to the right of the shifter, put the screwdriver in here to press a clip, and then shift into reverse. If that doesn't work, you can turn the key to ignition and then shift the vehicle in reverse, making sure your foot is on the brake. Now your vehicle is in reverse. What we have to do is pop off this whole panel now. It's actually pretty simple. You're going to start back here at the cup holder, use your thumb and forefinger on each side, and you're going to pop upwards, just the top part, and pop up in the front as well, and then lift this up over the shifter and around the emergency brake. At this point, if your vehicle was on to shift into reverse, make sure you put your vehicle back in park and turn off the vehicle. Now, if you have these rubber cup holder inserts, we're going to carefully pop up the front and the rear. Now the problem is, if you have this center factory light, the wiring for this is very, very short. And what we're going to do is actually cut that wiring. So to do that, you can lift up on the top, go in from the front, and clip the wiring itself. You can clip it somewhere in the middle. Don't cut it too short, too close to this LED, and don't cut it too short on the car side. Once you've done that, we can take this rubber insert to our workbench. So what we're going to end up with is something like this. There's a couple inches of wiring here, and if you want to reuse this light, if you have it, the factory light, we can extend these wires and just run them with the cup holder lights that we are going to install. If not, you can just tape up this connection and make sure the connection in the car, the black and the red wires, are taped up. We're actually not going to use this connection anymore. Drill a 1/4 inch hole right in the center of each of these cup holders into the rubber as best as you can. It's very important in this vehicle that the hole is drilled in the center of the cup holder, because we want it to come out within these circles on the back. Before you run these wires through, you want to make sure you clean the bottom of each cup holder with Windex or an alcohol pad. After that, take each LED cup holder disc and run the wiring from the top through to the back. Now, one of the cup holders is bigger than the other, so put the bigger disc in that one and the smaller one in the rear cup holder. Now you want to take the red backing off of the tape on the back of each disc and carefully run the rest of the wire through, and then carefully center the disc and push it down to secure, like I've done on this side. After that, we can bring this whole piece back into the car to wire. Now we want to take the cup holders, set them on the driver or passenger seat, and we're going to take each respective wire coming from the LED and run it through the respective hole down here. So make sure you run the front LED through the front hole, the rear LED through the rear hole, and if you're retaining that center factory illumination, run that through the center hole. Just run it. We're going to run it right up to here. Sometimes, especially with this rear LED, it's easiest if you run it and grab it on the side down here, and then you can run it over to come out right here. At this point, we're going to take our cup holders and put them back into the center console. So to do that, I'm going to carefully lower it down while we're pulling on each of the wires so that we don't damage them. Now you do want to make sure, whether or not you're using this factory center light, you want to make sure that that factory connection coming up is all taped off. Those two wires going to the LED we are not going to use at all, so you want to tape those up, make sure those aren't touching each other or anything else. So once you do that, we can just pop the center of each of these cup holders in and lock it into place. So now we have our two LED wires and the factory wire if you wanted to retain that. Now we need to wire these into the plug that's right here on the shifter. So to get this out, there's a clip at the very bottom. Press that, it pulls out. And then we want to peel back the tape that's on here for the two wires coming out of this plug. At this point we've taken all of our LED wires. So we have 3 red LED wires and 3 black LED wires, even from the factory LED. And we've put all the red wires together and all of the black wires together. Here we have the factory 2-pin plug. So what you have to do is strip each wire. We're going to take our red LED wires and we're going to wrap them around the orange wire here. Take all of the black LED wires and wrap them around the black and white wire on the other side. And we're going to tape up each connection individually and secure. If you have a manual transmission vehicle, you're not going to have any illumination at the shifter like the automatic transmission. You may also have the factory cup holder lights in the middle of your factory cup holders, but that wiring is usually way too short to be able to tap into. Another option for manual vehicles is if you have this smaller rear light on the back of the center console pointing at the rear cup holders. We can wire into this rear light with enough slack to make it easy to wire the front cup holders into this as well. To get to that wiring, use a pry tool at the top, pry out, and the whole thing pulls backwards. On the back of that panel you're going to see 2 plugs. One is for the power windows, the other one is for that small light. On the top of the small 2-pin connector, there's going to be a button you can press to remove that connector. Positive is going to be orange and black, and negative is going to be the black wire on this connector.